What's going on YouTube? It is your boy Josh, back with another haircut tutorial for you guys. And if you guys are new to my channel and you're not subscribed, please go down and smash that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on. Also leave a thumbs up on this video. But without further ado, let's get right to it. So today in this haircut, we're going to be giving my man a full transformation. We're going to be giving him a high fade. So we're going to be cutting all this off. But the first thing I want to do is go in and pick his hair out. So in this haircut, we're going to be cutting his hair down to a 1 guard with the lever all the way open with the grain. But we're going to start with our number 2 guard just to make sure that he doesn't have any cowlicks or anything in his hair. You don't want to start too low, because if you start too low, you might hit a spot that you could have preserved hair for, that you could have fixed later. So that's why I start with bigger guards when doing big chops. And also a benefit to using a bigger guard first, you can kind of find the flow of the hair pattern before you go in with your smaller guards. Like y'all seen when I was going around the crown area when I was going in a swirl. Right now I have the 1.5 guard on. So right here at this part of the haircut, I picked up the 1.5 guard. Initially I thought I was going to just go down to the 1.5, but eventually I went down to the 1 guard all the way open. So I just left this part in the video for you guys. So right here is when I went in with my 1 guard with the lever all the way open, and I'm going with the grain. So the reason why I went in with my 1 guard instead of the 1.5 is because it laid the hair down better. And also, if you guys noticed, you can see his wave pattern a little bit better. He's not a waver, but you know, some people have natural waves, and you can see it better once I cut it down to the 1 guard open.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Now it's time to start the fading process. I'm going to start by creating my ball line using my gold Babyliss skeleton trimmers, and I'm just going in and setting the guideline even all the way across the head. We're not giving him a drop fade, we're giving him a high fade. So around the back I kept it straight across instead of dropping it. I still kept a slight angle down with the fade just to preserve more room in the back so I can have that blend how I want it. But yeah, so right now we're just cleaning up all the hair that we don't need, and we're going to come back and hit the bottom of the guideline. And you guys, when I'm doing a high fade, I don't keep the C cup, so that's why I took the guideline all the way to the edge where the C cup usually would make that corner at, and that's how you make it a high fade. So right after I go in and set in my guideline, I always come back and hit the bottom of the guideline, kind of pushing it up like a centimeter, like barely. I push it up and that softens it, so when I come back to take it out, it's easier. So for the next step in my fade, we're going to come in with my cordless Wahl Seniors with no guard on with the lever all the way open, and I'm going up about a 1/2 inch as you guys can see. And we want to make sure that we keep the width of the guideline the same all the way around the head. And I know you guys maybe heard in the back, you can kind of push it up a little higher just because that stretch of the fade in the back is kind of longer than on the sides. And right here, you guys, is when I close the lever halfway and we begin the process of fading out that guideline. I start right up under the guideline and I just flick up to the guideline. And as you guys can see, that harsh line just disappears, and that's the whole goal. And I want you guys to know, every time you're taking out a guideline, just because you have the lever closed halfway, it won't get the guideline out all the time. Every hair texture is different. So some people, you might have to open the lever a little bit more than half to take the guideline out, because if you close it halfway, it might cut too much, and that's very important. So right after we're done taking out that guideline, we're going to come back with my number 1 guard on with the lever all the way closed, going up about another 1/2 inch, setting in our next guideline, making sure that we keep the width the same all the way around, and making sure that we go over different areas multiple times to ensure that every hair is cut. Because if every hair isn't cut, when we come back with the 1/2 guard, if we have any dark spots, it's not going to blend right. So after creating a guideline with the 1 guard closed, to take that guideline out, you come back with your 1/2 guard And I've been reading my comments, y'all. Usually when I come in with my half guard, I start with the lever halfway closed just so I don't cut too much. And then if it doesn't cut enough, I just close it all the way and I start right up under the line and flick up to it. So just to catch you guys up, right now I have my number 2 guard on and I'm doing my fading down process. We don't want to fade up in this part because you might push the fade up too high. So I'm going to start with my number 2 guard. And the reason why I started with my number 2 guard is because the number 2 guard fades right into that 1 guard with the lever open with the grain effortlessly. And you guys, right here I'm using the 1.5 guard. I didn't mention it when I switched it, but after I do my number 2 guard, I drop down to the 1.5 guard. Sometimes I start with the lever open and then gradually close it, but in that case I started with it all the way closed. And right here I came right back with my 1 guard, but this time with the lever all the way open just to blend right into that 1.5 area. And we're going to be doing a lot of detail work from this point on. So now that we're done with the fade, we're gonna hop right into fading the beard in, starting with my no guard on with the lever all the way open, and then I just close it halfway to blend that out. And then I start with my 1.5 guard and I walk it all the way down until I end back up at square one. And the reason why I use the 1.5 guard as the biggest guard on the beard fade was primarily because the height of his beard. Now we've gotten to one of the best parts of the haircut, which is the hairline. Right here I'm just prepping it, spraying on some holding spray and brushing the hair down to get it to lock down and lay down good. The reason why I did that was because he had a fro for a while, so his lineup was kind of standing up. But as you guys can see right here, we're going in with my gold Babyliss trimmers, setting in that nice sharp line as you guys see. But I'm gonna sit back and let you guys watch this lineup just change his haircut.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Just to add a little pop to this cut, even though his natural lining was clean, we're going to add some hair fibers to spice it up a little bit. Every time after applying the enhancements, I always come back with my trimmer just to line up the enhancements with the natural line and to get all the extra enhancement residue off the front of the forehead, as you guys see right there. You want to make sure you get that out the way, because if you apply that holding spray on top of that, it's going to be hard trying to get it off. Right after we're done with that, we come in with the holding spray, and then we come back behind that with the blow dryer just to lock it in. And you want to brush the hairline to make sure that none of the hair fibers are going to come out. If they do, you just come back and line it up. And a lot of times, as you guys know, I always say in my videos, after I apply the holding spray and everything, I come back and do one last lineup. But a lot of times when I brush the hairline as I'm blow drying, some of the hair start to stick out, or some of the hair fibers like fall out of place. So I just come back and I clean it up and make sure everything is all tight. Well, YouTube, this is what we started with. This is how it looked before. And if you watched it up until this point, I really appreciate you guys. But without further ado, this is the cut. Let me know what you guys think about this haircut in the comments. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video also. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on, and you can also follow me on Instagram at JoshXBarber. Peace.